Hello everybody, I'm Damon, an Arctic music producer and iOS user. Why am I telling you that? Because as an iOS user I have an exclusive music creation software called GarageBand, and I really love instruments and sounds GarageBand offers. Here we got scenes. Drums, strings, and even world traditional instruments that sound amazing. But I don't feel quite comfortable to write music on a phone. It takes a lot of time to edit MIDI with a touchscreen, to lose all the courage and inspiration. So I thought about how can I use these instruments on a PC in a DAW I'm confident with. Yeah, we got plenty of virtual instruments on a PC, but why should I search and download tons of gigabytes when I already have these high quality instruments prepared for me by smart guys from Apple, and I don't even have to pay for it because it comes with my iOS device. So the idea is to send MIDI from my project on a PC to the iOS device and get that sweet GarageBand instrument audio back to my project. You may think of it as sending MIDI to external instrument, which is often some kind of vintage analog synth or something. Almost every DAW can do this kind of stuff today, but I will not explain specific cases for each of them. I'll do it in Ableton Live, but you can be sure that you can do it in every modern DAW. So we need MIDI out from a PC. Many audio interfaces have MIDI ins and outs. For example, here I got MIDI out even on my keyboard, Launch K47 by Novation. Here it is. My iPhone can only receive USB information via this little adapter called Camera Connection Kit. If you are an Apple user, you probably have one. And we need something that will transform MIDI to USB. Luckily, I have a second audio interface that can receive MIDI, but if you don't have a USB MIDI interface, maybe you should try one of these cheap things you can find over the internet. In my case, this is iRig Pro I/O audio interface by IK Multimedia, and cables, a MIDI cable to transfer MIDI to a phone, and stereo audio cable to connect phone's audio out with PC audio interfaces audio in. Easy peasy.
Alright, this is the default new project in Ableton Live. First of all, we should check our audio interfaces settings. Go to Preferences, Audio, and check Input Configuration. This is where I am going to receive audio from a phone. I am interested in stereo inputs cause GarageBand usually sends stereo audio. My interface has many inputs, but you may have only 1 and 2. Got my 5.6 enabled cause this is where I unplugged the cable. Then we are going to MIDI settings and we should double check that MIDI out is enabled. I'll use my audio interfaces MIDI out. Now let's choose instruments, and we got the external instrument for our purposes in Ableton. Double click. Now you need to choose MIDI out that will transfer MIDI information and audio in that will receive audio. That's it, let's try. Alright, now let's say I want to use strings. And now let's say I want to use some Asian traditional instrument. Let's try to record. I write some MIDI notes here. Select audio track. Receive audio from external instrument. Alright, we have another problem to solve. As you can see, we got a gap between note played and audio recorded with a latency. We need to measure how long the latency is by selecting an area. Here you can see the duration, and it differs. There is a place where you can write amount of latency in the external instrument. Let's write 42. And let's record again. Looks better, but not perfect. You know how you can deal with it, let's move on. So now I want to record a song using GarageBand instruments. With my project, I got 3 MIDI tracks here. First is played by Superior Drummer. Here's what it sounds like. And I need to record the other 2. Let's select a bass track, put an external instrument on it, MIDI out, audio in. Let's choose bass in GarageBand. Retro bass sounds nice to me. Select audio track, receive audio from bass track, arm the track, and record. So let's record the pad. Same external instrument, MIDI out, audio in. Select audio track, receive audio from pad track. Let's choose a pad. One of my favorite is Autumn Haze from Flex and Flow pack. Let's listen to it. Arm the audio track and hit record. And that's pretty much it. Thanks for watching. Let me know if it was a helpful video. Bye!